Hello and welcome. This is kind of like a little special, like mini episode, a mini-sode, I don't know, of the Parrott Makes podcast, because I have decided that today I'm going to be what I'm calling WIP busting. I don't know if that's a term. I don't know if I made that up or if that's like a thing other people say, but look, here's the thing. I made my spring summer plans video and that got me really excited. I did a lot of swatching. I've done a little bit of casting on. We'll get to that in another video. I also signed up for, of course I did, a couple of test knits, which again are like more lightweight, a bit more summery. This is my dog, by the way. Luca, say hi. Okay, well, that's fine. And I basically just want to clear the decks of my existing WIPs, particularly, you know, not the ones that I've like kind of hibernated and I'm just not really thinking about, but the ones that I started for winter and I was like, yeah, I want to wear these for winter, right? And it's still cold a little bit, but the cold weather is quickly running out. All of that is a preamble to say I'm going to be focusing this week on finishing my winter crop. I mentioned this a few weeks ago, maybe even like a couple of months ago. In a WIP Wednesday video. Oh, sun lights changed. But basically this is the winter crop from Jessie Maed Designs. And I am using this super lovely alpaca yarns cloud, which is 100% merino. In that video, I explained like it's not exactly a boucle because the construction is different, and I'll try and find the same reference that I did for that one and put it in here. But for all intents and purposes, it does knit and function quite a lot like a boucle. So it's gonna make, you know, obviously a really beautiful, cozy jumper. But like we're fast approaching summer now, so I need to get it done. I just need to get it done. And look, it's knit on 6.5mm needles. It's this big old chunky yarn. I'm like, that's how much I've done under the arm. I think I can finish it this week. Today's Tuesday. I don't know when I'll be posting this, but today's Tuesday. So I reckon I can finish it this week if I just focus on this and I don't look at my... Can you stop licking? It's very distracting for me and also the people watching. Okay, it's gross. Stop it. Sorry. Honestly, he's got no manners. I just got the yarn and cast on my jelly top by May Knits, which is a test that I'm so excited about. I did like a couple of rows and I had to like force myself to put it down. So anyway, I should stop talking about the things I'm excited about because I want to be excited about this. I want to wear this. I want to wear this. So join me. I've got maybe like that much body, the sleeves, and then we're done. It's that simple. It's that easy. We're going to do it this week. Obviously, I normally film the podcast in my craft room, and right now I'm sitting in my living room on my couch. This is honestly not a bad spot. Like, the 70s wood paneling could use some jazzing up, but there's like big windows over there, so I could easily, like, there's a lot of natural light, which is why I've got such hectic glasses glare. I don't even know why I'm wearing them because I'm not yet watching TV. I'm about to pop on a TV show. I rewatched all of the Lord of the Rings movies, and now I'm watching the Hobbit movies, which when you watch them back to back, it is very clear that the Hobbit movies are just intangibly not as good. I don't know exactly what it is about them, but they are not as good as the Lord of the Rings, so that's okay. They're still very enjoyable and kind of nothingy for my brain. So that's why I was wearing my glasses, but I don't need to because I wanted to... I actually thought it might be interesting to show you how I'm keeping track of my rows with this yarn because I'm doing waist shaping. And the waist, the way that the maths worked out on the waist shaping was to do a decrease round every 4 rows. Ugh. Ooh, that's a funnily spun patch. But here's the thing. I find that this fabric, as it knits up, like normally I can read my knitting, right? And I will normally keep track of decreases by popping one of the little removable stitch markers in on the decrease. And that just helps me keep track of how many I'm doing and like counting the rows before I do the next one, which I feel like is like a pretty normal way to do it. But I found this yarn quite challenging to be able to like read in that way. And so I had to come up with like a different way to keep track of my rounds. Also, like I could do it. It's just that I enjoy the kind of like, not mindlessness exactly, but this was and is my relaxing project. My just like, it was just like a raglan increase in the round. Like it was for being relaxed. And so I don't want to have to put in the work to think about it. Anyway, I've reached the point, which is what I was going to show you. So the way that the waist decreases worked for this pattern was that you put in a marker, basically like in the middle of the underarm on both sides. And then every 4 rounds you do either a slip, slip, knit or a knit together at the respective markers kind of thing. So you decrease 2 stitches per decrease round. So what I ended up doing was, and I can kind of show you because I'm at a decrease round now, I'm using the 4 stitches before the underarm like decrease point as my guide. So I can tell that I am at a decrease round because my decreases were every 4 rounds, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, which are demarcated by this little marker. So what I will now do is I'll knit past that marker. This is the slip slip knit, and I actually do them, I saw this on TikTok. I'm not going to be able to show you, but I do mine slightly differently, but the end result is the same. So I count that as number 1. Do I? If that's every 4th. So if that's 4, yeah, that's right. So now what I do is I just slip it over to the other needle because I can't be bothered undoing this. Put it on, slip it over, slip my under, and I keep knitting. And now there is 1 stitch in between the markers, and I'll just move it. So as each row, so the next row, I'll move it over so there's 2, one after, move it over so there's 3, next one, move it over so there's 4, and then the one after that, I know that is my decrease row, and we start again. And I've only done it on the first decrease side that I encounter. So my beginning of round is actually in the center back, because I figure that like I will just make sure I always complete a decrease round before I put the project down. So we'll knit across. This is just such interesting yarn to work with. Every time I kind of pick up this project fresh off something else, I find I need to like remember how to work with it, and rather than like working against it, because it can sort of fight your needles a bit. It sticks to itself and it doesn't glide that nicely. I definitely find like the metal needles, which are my go-to, I basically exclusively use metal needles. I have a couple of rogue pairs of bamboos, but I tend to break bamboos really easily because I'm a bit rough with all of my project bags and stuff, and then I sit on them, or my husband sat on a pair one time, which I was pretty annoyed about. So I just stick with metals now. But I do find that they glide pretty well. And once I'm in my zone on this project, then it just really does fly by, which is why I feel really confident that I can like get it done this week and just give my full glorious attention to some of my summer projects and my test projects. So here we are at the next one. This one is you slip the marker, and this one's a knit together. And we keep going, and that way I don't need to keep track of the decreases on this side. I just keep track on the other side. And off we go. Thank you. Always ready to change, add a new ball. So it is time to add another ball of yarn. I thought this was a good time to stop and take stock of how much yarn I actually have left. I did buy this yarn from my local yarn shop, the Salamanca Wool Store, and they, like lots of yarn shops, will actually put a couple of balls on hold for you just in case you need more. So I'm not too worried about running out in that sense, but so it looks like I've got 4 left, and I actually think that that is going to be plentiful because making good progress, and it is meant to be a crop. So I think that we will only use one more ball on the body, and then hopefully no more than 1.5 on each arm, and we'll be good. I have no idea if this is interesting to anyone, but I thought I'd show you how I'm gonna add the next ball of yarn into this. I feel like this is just like not a proper technique, but also like it's how I've always done it, so I don't know, thought we could do it together. Now I found that this yarn does like stick to itself quite a lot. So when I get to about that much tail, all I do is get the tail of the new yarn and like line them up so that they're double. And then I'm just gonna knit. I'm just gonna knit the two of them together. And I found that this is really very seamless. Doesn't leave me any ends to sew in, which is the goal. This is, I mean, it's very seamless in this particular project, but this is how I always join my yarn. Again, I'm fairly confident this is not like the proper way, but like, okay, what is the proper way? So yeah, and then I'll find I get to a point where I've got maybe like that much of the old one. If I can get one more stitch out, I will. Let's see, maybe I can do one more. Yeah, okay, and then from there I'll just keep going. And now we're on our new ball of yarn. So I don't think I'm going to get to the end of the body tonight because it's almost 10 and my little girl's already woken once and I've had to settle her once already. So normally that means we're on like a time crunch when it comes to her staying asleep, but we've made good progress. We'll continue on this adventure tomorrow, and I'll probably do one last check-in before I end for the night if I can, and I'll show you where I'm up to on this project. I cut myself a nice fresh long piece of barber cord as well, so I might even try it on because I do want to see like how long I want to make it, given that it is meant to be a crop. It's always that fine line of like not too cropped, not too long. Just got to get the Goldilocks just right. Okay, it is Wednesday. Here's the progress update. I didn't get as much done last night as I was hoping because my daughter woke up a bunch, so I just went to bed. But I took her with me this morning to her swimming lesson because she gets in the water with my dad. So I normally have half an hour to just like sit and decompress. So I'm feeling pretty excited. I'm gonna try it on because I do want this to be a crop. So I figure let's try it on and see where we're at. I reckon we might be either ready for ribbing or one more set of decreases, which is 4 rows. We shall see. All right, let's see. Oh, she's cute. This is the tricky bit. I don't want it to be too long. It's a crop. I don't want it to be too long. So, but at the moment, like that's pretty short on the underarm. Tricky. I could do, well, let's think. I'm probably going to do, I could do more ribbing. That's the other option. I could swap over to my ribbing now. And if I did like, you know, a much, and that would cinch it in, I'm worried if I keep going, it'll be too long. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm up to a decrease row. I'm going to do one more decrease. I'm going to do a decrease row, swap to my smaller needles for the next row, and then I'm going to go onto my ribbing. It's so cute. I can literally even imagine it. I'm going to adjust this camera, hang on, because I can totally imagine wearing it even with these pants. Wouldn't that be the cutest outfit? Yay, awesome. Great progress, team. Man, I really forgot how depressing the last Hobbit movie is. Like the battle scene just feels relentless and I'm anxious even though I know that all my favorite people die. Except Bilbo, obviously. I don't know, man. It's just watching it's feeling a bit relentless, but I think I'm at the bit where some of the bad orcs actually do die, which will be nice. Also, Orlando Bloom's Legolas looks damn old in this movie. Oh my god, is Thorin ever gonna actually fight Azog? Like, why does it take so long? Just, the pacing's off, I feel. Or maybe it's because I've had to watch this in like 4 separate sittings, because every time my kid wakes, I have to turn it off, obviously, because it's, you know. Oh no, I thought that was backup for the good guys, not for the bad guys. I can't even remember how they win this. Like, it really is not feeling very likely that they will, even though I know that they do. Oh, that's bad CGI. That's, yeah. Legolas just did a backflip off the top of an orc's head that he just killed, by the way. Alrighty, I've done the recommended 6 centimeters of ribbing. That doesn't look like it, but I did just measure it. When I was knitting on it up close, you really can't see the ribbing, but actually on the cord, you can see it decently well. So I am going to try it on though, because just because the pattern says 6 centimeters doesn't mean that that's what I want, you know? Maybe I want a little bit more. We'll find out. Keeping in mind, obviously I haven't blocked it. Oh, yeah. Ooh, what's that? That's my own hair. Okay. Yes, I'm happy with that, I think. I think if it's too much longer, it's not going to be cropped anymore, eh? So I think we'll cast off. Let's go. Let's do that. As much as I normally love... Oh, look at my hair, gross. As much as I normally love an Italian bind off, with something like this yarn, like, I'm not wasting my time. Can you imagine doing an Italian bind off in this, what's it, flechette, boucle, like this? Can you imagine how tedious that would be? Not just because, like, it would take a long time and you basically wouldn't even be able to tell, but also, like, the actual process of doing the bind off with this kind of yarn. It would be a nightmare. It would be so bad. Instead, I've got my 5.5mm crochet hook, which is the needle size that I've been using. And yes, don't need that anymore. And yes, did I say Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, which is where you knit one, you do a reverse. I always have to remind myself which way is the reverse. You do a reverse yarn over, you knit again, and you pull through. And then from there, you just do your reverse bind over, knit, pull through. I always feel weird, like, holding a crochet hook with my knitting. But as I've sort of mentioned, this is quite a sticky yarn, which does make things like this a lot easier because you're not, like, sliding all over the place. So this is going pretty quick, actually, she says as she fumbles around with a stitch. Okay, I will see you guys in just a second when I have finished binding this bad boy off. Which actually, I'm glad that I decided I didn't want to knit anymore, because that's all I have left of that ball. And, like, it is truly one of my biggest pet peeves, having to join a new ball of yarn when you're, like, in the ribbing, you know what I mean, like at the very end of the project. The worst. Okay, here is our end of Wednesday check-in. I might knit a little bit more before I go to bed, but just in case my kid wakes and I have to, like, abandon it, I thought we'd just check now. We've made great progress. I finished binding off and I'm super happy with this length. Like, I'll probably tug it, like stretch it a little bit with blocking, but not too much because it is cropped. And I've started the first sleeve over here. I was also pleased to see in the pattern that there is no sleeve shaping. There is, like, an optional, you can, like, cinch the wrist. So I'm going to see how I feel when I get there. But basically I just knit until it is as long as I'm happy with, which is great because, as I mentioned, with the waist decreases, this fabric, like this yarn, isn't the easiest to tell, like, your stitches. So I'm really glad I don't have to count any decreases. We just round, 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 down, down, down. And I'll see you for our next check-in on Thursday, day 3, prioritizing this project. I'm feeling pretty optimistic about getting it done by Sunday, but, you know, famous last words. So I'm on my work lunch break. Got my lunch. And I have my project. Still working away on the sleeve. I get an hour for lunch. So we'll just see what I can get done in an hour. I'm wearing my, what is this? My Afterglow pullover, which is the short sleeve version. I'm wearing that for work today, which I think is very cute. Green. Yeah, so we'll just see how I go. Okay, Thursday night update. We're really coming along. I did knit for my lunch break. I had to go into our tea room because it started raining, so I obviously couldn't film in my work tea room, but I added a fresh ball when I started this sleeve, and I'm about to add a new ball. So that's a really cool, like, visual for you of how much I got out from one of those balls. I thought we could try it on because I'm now starting to be like, am I going to, God, that looks crazy. Am I going to get this jumper out with what I've got? because I have 2 more balls. But let's just tuck that up so I can see what we're working with here. I think we might just about do it because I'll knit that much again on this side, and then I've just got to do a little bit more and a cuff. You know what's really annoying is I'm either going to perfectly get it out in the 2 balls that I have left, or I'm gonna run out like with a cuff to go. I'm gonna be playing yarn chicken with this sweater. I can already tell. Oh no, I don't want to. Okay, well, there's your update. I'm gonna keep knitting. I don't know how much I'll get done tomorrow, but I'll keep you updated. Okay, it's late on Saturday afternoon. I've missed Fridays and like an update for most of today, but let's show you where we're at. The reason why I missed yesterday's update, just as a sidebar, is because I hired and had like a full day session with a professional organizer, and it was like the best money I've ever spent in my life. Holy moly. I don't know, I'd have to go back and look at the footage from the last few days, but like it's immaculate. It's just immaculate. It's, yeah, amazing. Anyway, and then I was busy with my daughter today. Here's where we're at. I decided to put this sleeve on a stitch holder and knit this one up to the same point and try it on, because when I tried it on to check the sleeve length, I was like, oh, maybe I kind of like the idea of having not a cinched sleeve and actually having like an open, like a wide open sleeve. Less practical, obviously, but still kind of cute, right? Hang on, let me scoot over. Like, that's cute. So I've just left it there because I think I would probably start the ribbing now, just about. Maybe not quite, but like pretty close. If I was to cinch that, I'd probably start ribbing almost now. So I thought I'd stop, put it on stitch holder, do this one. Poor darling. My husband's trying to put her to sleep and bad times are being had apparently. So that's the update. I'm gonna see how much more I can get done of this, and then I've got another session with my organizer tomorrow, so I don't know how much I will get done tomorrow. I reckon I can get this finished by Monday, all things being equal, but we'll see. Making good progress though. I'm happy.
Something crazy that doesn't make sense to you, maybe assume they've got pets rather than assuming they're
acting like monsters on airplanes or giving tearful apologies with titles like "Why I Yelled the C Word at a Baby."
Okay, it's pretty late in the day on Monday, but this is where we're at. The sleeves are about even now. So I thought I would try it on, and we're gonna have to make a decision if I leave them wide or I cinch them in. And for reference, this is how much yarn I have left. So I have enough left to make a decision either way, I think, just about. I mean, it's super cute. It's not as fitted as I kind of wanted. So I have more of this yarn in a different color, and I actually think like maybe next winter I will make another version of this, but even like 2 sizes down, so it's like tight, you know. I think I'm gonna leave the sleeves wide. I think it looks really cute. So I'll probably just do like maybe 2 more rows on each side, bind off, and we are done, and we will have finished this in a week, because I think I started this video on Tuesday last week. Today is Monday afternoon, so I reckon I can finish it tonight if my kid cooperates with her sleep. Yay! I'm so excited. I can't believe how much of this I got done in a week. Awesome. And a busy week at that. We are officially done. I finished it last night, sewed in the remaining ends, and I just need to block it, which I'll do pretty much once I've finished filming this. So here is the end result. It's got quite a wide neckline, but I like every jumper I ever make, you can see my shirt underneath. So at this point I've kind of just accepted it, but I'm really happy the like open sleeve. I think that looks super cute and kind of like youthful. This is how much yarn I ended up with, which I'll weigh and I'll put the info on the screen. But I would have had enough to do a cuff on these if I wanted, but I feel pretty good about, I just did Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, and I like that's given it quite a nice edge that, given the nature of this yarn, is actually not super stretchy, but it is like, it's nice, it works well. And yeah, mostly I'm really excited because this means that I can move on. One of my more like summery projects probably one of my test knits as well, because I have to order the yarn still for the other one. I found out I got accepted into a second test knit in the duration of filming this video, which is pretty funny. But I'll update you on that pretty soon, because I'm going to do like a knitting update video. So yeah, I hope that this has been something a bit different, something a bit fun. I don't really know how I'm going to edit this together yet, because I haven't done that while I'm filming this, but I enjoyed this little challenge of like trying to finish the project in a week and just focusing on this project. So I may well do that again with one of my other WIPs in the future, because I feel like it was very effective. Turns out you can get stuff done a lot quicker when you just focus on one thing at a time. So who knew? All right, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.